everyone, welcome back to our Heritage Group channel. My name is G, and today we're featuring a very special E30. This is a 325iX Touring. This is part of our white glove service. If you don't know about our white glove service, make sure to check it out on our website. So getting into this Touring here, these Tourings were not made for the US market. They were only European market cars. This one specifically was brought over from Lebanon, and the current owner has been enjoying it for some time now. It is registered in Washington with Washington plates and would need to be passed by the California bar in order to be registered for California use. This car, from the exterior, it's a very clean car. The paint for the age of the car is in great shape. There are a few minor scratches here and there, but nothing noticeable at all. The trim on the car, the black trim, looks pretty nice. It does have, it looks like the M-Tech fender flares, the body kit, side skirts, and all of that, with the roof rack as well. And this one does feature the rare purple design edition interior. Other things to note on the outside, you'll notice it is the slick top, no sunroof model, which makes it even more rare. And this only has 87,000 miles on it. Let's move on to the inside and see how the interior is. All right, so taking a look at the interior of this E30, first thing you'll notice is obviously this rare purple design edition interior. This interior, the cloth interior, is specific for the European market. This was never made for the US, and I think it's one of the best looking interiors out there for these E30s. When you take a look at the condition of the seats and the interior, the fabric on the car, I would say it's pretty good. I would give it maybe an 8, 8.5 out of 10. There is some minor wear on the seats, on the driver's seat bolster, and on the passenger seat. Otherwise, everything else looks pretty darn good. This does feature a crack-free dash, which is literally 1 in a million on these cars. And the rest of the center console and interior is in good shape too. Instrument cluster right now reads 139,000 kilometers, which is roughly 87,000 miles. When you look at the cluster here, you have your headlight switches on the left over here. That controls the dimming of the interior cluster light as well. All of them are in functioning order. And then you have your headlight adjustment knob at the bottom over here, fog lights left and right, and your M-Tech 2 steering wheel. Horn works on the car. Stereo works, and I tried the AC earlier as well. It was blowing cool air, although it wasn't really cold. Maybe it could use a refill in the Freon, but you could tell that it is working. Heater works too, and so do both of the front 2 windows. The rear windows are manual windows, roll-up windows. The front 2 are power. You have your power mirrors as well, and your check control OBC unit at the top. This is in German, but it's pretty self-explanatory. All right, let's take a peek under the hood. So this E30 does feature M20 engine. This is the 2.5 liter that came in these. Compared to the other models of the Touring with the different engines, like for example the 316, the 318, the 1.6, 1.8, I think this is the best way to go with these E30s. After driving this one, I really don't see how it would have enough power with the 1.8 or 1.6. So overall, this engine, the M20, is perfect for a cruiser, you know, daily driver, just driving it around town. Fantastic engine for that. It's been running cool with us. I haven't seen any issues of overheating or anything. Haven't noticed any leaks, and overall, it runs good. But yeah, so with that, let's take it on a drive and see what it really can do. All right, so now that we're in this E30 Touring, let's talk about how this car drives a little. When it comes to the M20 engine and E30 specific cars, I've personally driven a lot of them, and I've owned the M20 engine in a few of my cars, and I'm very familiar with the way these things are supposed to drive. My first thoughts on driving this Touring here is that, like I said, this M20 is a perfect engine for this car. I don't know how the 316 or the 318 engines do, but I don't think it will be up to par for the weight and size of this thing. When it comes to the drivability, this engine runs very smooth. It goes when you need it to go, it stops when you need it to stop, and has been a reliable transport, just going from A to B. And you have all the room that you could ask for in a minivan, you know, so this is by far, I think, the most practical daily driver that you could get. Gas mileage is actually decent on it too, compared to cars nowadays. The only thing with it is the transmission. I have noticed that sometimes it does slip from first to second slightly, and then it catches and keeps going. Otherwise, most of the time, it drives perfectly normal. And it tracks straight. Suspension feels nice. It doesn't feel like it needs to be replaced anytime soon. There's a good amount of give in the dampers, a good amount of rebound. It's not bouncy. It doesn't get bouncy or wobbly on the highway or at speed. Stays planted, and it drives very well, honestly. Put this window up here. When it comes to the steering and handling of the car, it feels like the bushings and everything are doing their job, and there is no loose ends when it comes to suspension links. You don't hear any clunking from the suspension or anything. And braking, when it comes to the brakes, it holds the car on a dime. These are all original, the stock brakes and rotors on the car. But they do a great job, you know. I mean, without any upgrades or anything, this is what the car was meant for, what these brakes were meant for. So overall, I think the drive of the car is very joyful. And the cool factor of having something that you can't even get your hands on here in the States is what really does it for these Tourings, you know. Driving this thing on the streets during traffic through LA, the temperature stays constant, and it's very easy. It's a breeze to drive. It doesn't make you regret anything. And then when you get up to speed on the freeway, or if you're taking it on some twisty mountain roads, it really shows you what an E30 can do. You know, it goes against the look of the car, I would say. Because when you see the car, you expect it to be kind of like a grocery getter and a hauler, but it really puts a smile on your face. So overall, I think the condition of the car is pretty good for the age of it, and just needs some tender loving care, you know, as with all of these cars. Buying a 30-year-old car, it's going to need work. Thankfully, this one has very solid bones, and it's ready to go at any moment. You know, it starts up every time and takes you where you need to go without asking any questions. So I think this is a great car to build off of if you want to do the manual transmission swap or an engine swap. This is the perfect base to start with. So I believe there is 2 or 3 days left in the auction. Make sure to get your bids in. As always, at the last 2 minutes with every bid, the clock resets back to 2 minutes. So don't wait until the last second, or you might miss your chance on owning this gem. This is a no reserve auction, and it will sell to the highest bidder. So happy bidding, and we'll see you all soon.